So let's have a few other tools on how to work on our marriage. Now, I've spoken about that before, but it's very important to understand. We people come to me, couple, it's upset, she's doing this, she's doing that, he's doing this, he's doing that. Really, the first question we should ask is, why do you think those things happen? And automatically what people answer is, well, he treated me like that, she doesn't do that, she's like this, she's like that. All about character traits, basically, about behavior of the other. Now, one of the things that we forget is that the only way for the marriage to change and to get better is these things done for the change to happen. People come after 10 years, 15 years of marriage, and they say they don't understand why the marriage is not working, or they're upset of the state of their marriage. That it's terrible. The question, and this Rav Ben Shitrit, the French rabbi, says something very smart. He says, why do you expect to have result for something that you didn't invest for, right? Meaning, why should you have money if you never worked for it? Why do you expect your marriage to be good, and healthy and stable and balanced and loving, if you never did what is necessary for it to happen? So you want the benefit without the work. Now, there's something called Avodas Hazivug, right? Most people don't work on the midos, first of all, and working on midos is not just reading a book. It's just like, I'll work on anger. I'll try to work on anger when I think about it, when it happens. That's not working on midos. The same way there's Avodas Hashem and Avodas Hamidos, there's Avodas Hazivug. It's my new invention. Avodas Hazivug, the work on the soulmate, of soulmating, the work of love. Avodas Ahavas, it's almost like V'ahavta L'recha kamocha. I mean, we know, like, where people hate each other out there, right? Because he's like this, he's like that, between Jews. And we know the most important thing is V'ahavta L'recha kamocha. That's all we need. See, Avas Chinam, Tisha B'Av, right? And what? People are still cursing each other, hating each other, they're not respecting each other. So why? Because they're not working on character traits. They're not working on love. So you cannot have a happy, successful, loving marriage that you want if you don't work on your marriage. What did you do in all those years that you have been married? Actually work. What do you do to work on that marriage? Marriage only work, meaning you can live with someone. We were good. We were living in the same house, and even having kids, and doing I'm going to work and all that. That doesn't bring love. I mean, it might bring a little bit of common ground. Oh yeah, we have kids together. Very nice. Oh, we live in the same house together. Oh, we share a lot of things together. Very nice. That doesn't create love. What's love? Love, ahava, is gematria echad. Means one. So what is the thing that while you're next to each other, okay, you're closer physically next to each other on a physical level, but if you're only close to each other on a physical level and not on an emotional level, on an intellectual level, on a spiritual level, then you're just going to be two people, only the body love each other. The problem is that when the bodies are not attracted to each other, right, and this anger and resentment, and you get old and everything falls, then you're not attracted anymore. Then say, yeah, we don't love each other. Well, yeah, but you don't love each other. You were never in love. You were just attracted, like, I like her, I like him. Love, real love, like love. Because if you love each other, you cannot even think of, divorcing, or you cannot even think of, it's not working out, or it's that there's nothing to do. If you love each other, then you go together through the ups and the downs, and through all his crappy mood and through all her crappy moods. So what work have you done? Let me ask you, why in the past 10, 15 years? Again, everything that I'm telling you, it's the things that I tell myself, right? We're not putting anybody down. What actual work have you done? I say, this is what I've done, I've done this. Because if you have done all the work, and after all the work, it doesn't work, there's no love, then you might have a good reason to divorce or to say there's a real problem. But if you have done no work, couples come to me after 6 months, a year, 2 years, and say, it's not working out, we're not, like, how can you say it's not working out? It takes about 10 years of work to start working out, right? We understand the craziness of that. It takes years and years to have true love. The problem is that people stay years together, but they don't do the work with it. Just living together and sharing, life is not going to work. So what are some of the solutions? What work can you do now? Avodas Hazivug, right? No matter the state you are in, because it starts from before marriage technically. Like I said, we all need to have a PhD in Avodas Hazivug, right? PhD in knowing how marriage works and how to perform marriage. So it takes being married, being a zivug. It's more complicated than to be a barber. It's more complicated than to be a doctor. It's more complicated than to be a surgeon. It's more complicated than all the different jobs that exist. The proof: almost nobody divorces his jobs, but people divorce their wife, right? So I'm gonna give you a few different ideas, but the key is say, this is what I'm doing, right? To be a better spouse. This is what I do to invest in my marriage. What's your investment? How much time do you invest in your marriage, right? So 10 minutes a day, an hour a day. So I want to go through a few books that I've read. First of all, you have to read hundreds of books. Okay, so I'll go through a few. Some might be more secular, some more controversial, some more. But those are all books that I've read. I've read more than that, but we should have read hundreds of books. Okay, right? So this book, The Laws of Marriage, by Rabbi. I'm not gonna stop for every book. Soe, by Abraham Cohen Soe. These Getting to Know Your Home from the Bivad Mishkan Evne. These 10 minutes a day, very good. There's just one scroll. There's Shalom Arush, which has for women's wisdom and the Garden of Peace. There's the 5 love language. This one's for teenagers, but there's 5 love language, which is from Gary Chapman. It's everybody needs to read that book. This is like one of the top 5. This Will Jew Marry Me from Rabbi Lawrence Hadjoff, Monsey Rabbi, friends of mine. Sexual Intelligence. Great 2 books from Rabbi Zamir Cohen. One for men, one for women. Really good. For men, The Light of Ephraim. Really, actually, it's mostly for men. There's a bit for women, but it's mostly for men. It deals with dealing with one's sexual energy, desire, temptation, how to fix it, and how to use it with one's spouse. Kosher Sex from Rabbi Shmuel Boteach, more controversial, obviously. Another a bit controversial because of the title. Dr. Ruth Westheimer and Jonathan Mach, Heavenly Sex. Okay, sex. We're gonna do a video about sex because that's a big thing. Meaningful Sex from Esther Youngrise, Rebbetzin. Why Can I Fall in Love? Rabbi Shmuel Boteach again. This is the Newlyweds Guide to Physical Intimacy. Sometimes we think we know, but it's made for from people. It's really good. It's good, especially for Chatan and Kala. The Sex-Starved Marriage, very important. Most people, most couples don't have healthy sexual intimacy, and definitely not often. So we are all starved for true love, true intimacy, true affection. Family Redeemed by Rabbi Soloveitchik. The Holy Letter, Igeret HaKodesh, some says from the Ramban, some says from Rabbi Yosef Gitakila, Kabbalist. Passage to Intimacy, Passionate Marriage, Ohel Rachel, it's very nice. Very good, Marriage Fitness, by Mort Fertel. Really very practical thing. Carrier of Happiness from Rabbi Victor Miller. Guide to the Romantically Perplexed by Lisa Aiken, PhD, very famous author in the Jewish world. And The First Year of Marriage by Rabbi Avraham Tversky, which actually is, it's not just for the first year of marriage. It's for other things. And, I've read many more books than that. So how many books have you read? Again, I'm trying to show off or anything. I'm pushing you to see like how much knowledge you still need to gain before you can say, oh, it's not working, before you can say, oh, why my marriage is not working? Why is my wife like that? Why don't we have a good marriage? How much midos work have you done? Right? How many classes on marriage have you listened? I've listened to literally at least 500 hours of marriage classes. There are classes from, Rabbi the Shmuz, Rabbi Sheffier has a new book also, but he has a whole series of audio on the Shmuz. There's also Rabbi Tauber also has a great book on marriage, and a whole series of also CDs. We don't have CDs anymore, but MP3, whatever it is, of audio classes, and Rabbi Riedi. I mean, there are tons and tons and tons and tons of content, right? You can go on YouTube. There's plenty of rabbis who give classes about marriage. How many hours? We should be listening at least to one class a week. At least to one class a week. At least 1 hour a week. It has to be constant. It's an avodah. It's like Avodas Hashem. Oh, it's like being married, being Jewish and not doing the mitzvot. And then you say, I don't understand why I don't have a good relationship with God. Why I'm not like connected to God. I don't feel the spirituality. Well, if you don't do the mitzvot, if you don't do the Avodas Hashem, right, or being close to God, you're not going to be close to God. So same thing, being married and not doing that work is like being Jewish and not doing the mitzvot, right? Now, also, how many times have you reviewed the laws of Nida? So now, those a few hundreds of hours of listening to Shirim. Then how many times have you learned the laws of Nida and the laws of a husband and wife, the obligation as a man, the Deoraisa and the Derabanan, and the laws of Nida? Did you learn deeper what Nida is? What are the deeper meaning of what Nida is? And not too many people actually teach it with the meaning behind it. How Nida is supposed to be a tool. It's supposed to be a work for us to get closer. So this is the general typical stuff, but it's much deeper than what people think. Then there's also the Kabbalah. In Kabbalah, you're gonna see a lot of teachings. If you read from the Arizal, read what it says in Kabbalah about men and women. It's very deep. There's that very small thing from Rabbi Freeman, New Men, Women, and Kabbalah, which is very cute and small. And how much have you studied about men, physically, biologically, about their emotional ways and spiritual ways? How much have you learned about yourself as a man, what a man is, what his tendencies? Then there's all retreats. You should be going to at least minimum one retreat every 6 months, or at least once a year. Like a retreat for couples, one weekend for couples, one Shabbaton for couples. how many times, and it seems like that all that is hard, is easy. It's not easy, going on dates and now going on Shabbatons. But you created for that. That's the most important thing in your life. If I would ask you, what is your most precious thing in the world? What is most precious to you in the entire universe? From everything that you possess, from everything you have in life, what is the most precious thing that God say, you can have anything, ask me for one thing beside God himself? That should be your wife or your spouse. That should be your most precious thing. So you wake up in the morning and you say, the most precious thing I can have is my zivug, is my spouse. So, that's exciting, especially if you have one. Now, it's not working so good, but that's fine. You still have it. Like, I don't have money. I don't know what to do. I didn't open anything. I don't have a company, but I have all the money. So its potential is there. So your spouse is the most precious thing that you have, and you have it. So you have to work with it. Your spouse is yourself. Don't forget, it's not someone else. So it is the most precious thing, because it's myself, really. The most precious thing I have, it's really myself. And then the next thing is my spouse, because my spouse is really the other part of myself. But everything else is extra. It's like, if I was missing an arm, so the only most precious thing I want is my arm, because I'm missing a part of myself. That's the spouse. Now, the other things is to going to a social worker, or a marriage coach, or a therapist, or a rabbi. How many times a year do you meet with your rabbi as a couple to discuss things, to see how we can improve? How many times a year do you meet with one of things? How many classes, life classes do you go together? And by the way, it's very good to listen to certain classes together, or on marriage. Your mind has to be constantly involved in that. We guys, we're very involved in the work. Okay, what I'm doing, when I'm productive, but really the thing that should worry us the most should not be the money or the job. Don't you have emunah? Hashem's going to take care of you, right? But the thing that should bother us the most, should be most thoughtful about, mindful about, is our spouse, our wives. So this is, what I wanted to share with you. And obviously we should go to seminars. There's seminar today, they do more and more seminars, because all the rabbis realize that this is the key, this is what we need. We don't need to do Baal Tshuva anymore, we don't need to do Kiruv anymore. All what you need is to have good marriages, because if we do that right, then everything will be right, then we will be happy human beings, then we want to be mitzvah, do mitzvahs, we want to be close to God, that the children will be happy, there'll be no need for other yeshivas and chanting yeshivas, because if the kids are happy, if the kids feel the love of the parents, then the kids are made with love, and the kids are raised with love, and you'll have a beautiful family. So that's a beautiful society. Everything will work out. So stop being lazy, okay, and do some work, because that's the only way. Don't think it's going to happen by itself. It doesn't happen by itself. And we all time to give excuse. I'm too busy with that. It's up to you. You want the marriage to be great? Do the work. Okay, what work do you do? Read all the time. Listen to things all the time. Go to retreat. Go to Shabbatons. Meet with the rabbi, with your rabbi. Learn. It has to be always in your mind. And this way, you will see, you will become someone who his whole life is about his zivug, his marriage, about his love, and that's when you do that, Hashem will help you, and you will see your spouse change. We want to change so much our spouse. Oh, he's like that. Oh, she's like that. At the end, if you transform yourself, you're going to see miracles in the other. I've experienced it myself, and it's the way how things work. You go lemala min hateva, you transform yourself, you become good. You work 100%, not just I do 50, you do 50, I do 60, you do 40. I do 100% of my work, and I let Hashem place its magic. and you will see magic things happen, because love is magic. All right, have an awesome day and week. Don't forget to work.